Welcome to Soprano and Tenor Recorder for Real Grown-Ups, Session 6. We'll be discussing terms today for you to know. Expression markings provide additional instructions for musicians. For example, the word ritard, or abbreviated to RIT, means to slow down, kind of like this. More terms for you to know: bar line, double bar, and measure. A bar line is the single vertical lines that go throughout the music. So, for example, you look between the first two notes, the low C and the low D, and there's a line that goes up and down right before the low D. That's a bar line. And then before the E that follows, that line that goes up and down is another bar line. If you go all the way to the end of the line, you see another bar line at the very end of line 1. A double bar occurs when you have two closely spaced, often one is thick, vertical bar lines, and it's at the end. So a double bar indicates the end of the piece of music. So if you go all the way to the end of our C major scale, the end of the fourth line, you see the double bar, and that indicates the end. A measure. A measure is the entire space from one bar line going through to the following bar line. So at the beginning of the piece, the clef starts the first measure. In other words, we don't have a bar line at the beginning of the piece, but the clef counts as the bar line. So the first measure ends with the first bar line, so the note low C is part of the first measure. The bar line that comes before the next note D, we can see that D is in the second measure, followed by a bar line, so that only the note D is in that second measure, and so forth. So, how many measures are in the first line of music? If you said 4, you are correct. Again, remember the clef replaces the bar line in our counting. Now, here's another one for you. How many measures are within this piece? If you said 16 measures, you are correct. Another term, time signature. What is a time signature? A time signature looks like a fraction. It provides important information. Take a look at this time signature. The top number states the number of beats per measure. In the time signature to the right, there are 3 beats in each measure of the song. So this time signature is properly read as 3/4. The top numbers stated first. The lower number of the time signature states the note type that equals 1 beat. And the best way to figure that out is to read the time signature improperly, read it as a fraction, say 3/4, because as a fraction we could say this is 3/4. And it is the word quarters that gives the hint that it is a quarter note that equals 1 beat. So let's say if you had a time signature that was 3/8, you could say there are 3 beats in every measure, but if you say it as a fraction improperly, 3/8, then it's the 8th note that equals 1 beat. More terms: flat, natural, and accidentals. A flat sign looks a little bit like a lowercase letter B. See the first note to your right. Flats lower the pitch slightly by a half step. Natural signs correct the pitch to the regular pitch. In other words, if it was flat before, now it's no longer flat. See the natural sign all the way to the right in the example in front of the second B. Pitches that are neither sharp nor flat are natural. Most pitches that you play are natural. So I'm going to play what's on the chart there for you. The first is B flat, and the second B natural. Notice the B natural is slightly higher in pitch than the B flat. Signs for flats, sharps, and naturals are all called accidentals. So the flat sign is an accidental, the natural sign is an accidental. You've seen sharp signs, remember they look like a pound sign, those are accidentals. For you to play B flat, finger your note E. Remember that's all the left fingers are down and then the right finger, 1 and 2. Next, lift both of your middle fingers, both your left middle finger and your right finger. That's B flat. Try it. It should sound like this. You can now play Danny Boy, at least the beginning of it, which is what we have here. Let's examine it. There's a lot to see. First of all, with line 1, the key signature of 1 flat means each B in the song is played as B flat. There are only 2 B's in the song. Find them. If you said the end of line 1, you're correct. And if you said the middle of line 3, you're also correct. Notice there's no flat sign in front of those B's. You have to remember it because of the key signature. Next, the song is in 4/4 time. There means 4 beats per measure, right? And we can say 4 quarters time, so the quarter note equals 1 beat. Notice there are a lot of slurs. There are also quarter rests, quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes, and 1 whole note at the very end. Taking a look at the last line, notice the trill over the note G. So that's a G-A-G-A-G trill. And notice the abbreviation for retard that occurs beneath the last B flat in the song. So I'm going to play this for you. You can hear how it sounds. Notice I slowed down with the retard at the end. Have a great day.